Hi, I'm Peter Woolley, and today I'm going to be painting up from the last of the sketches that I made on my trip up to Griesdale Tarn in the Lake District. Of all the various subjects to be found in the mountains, I think one of my favourites are crags. This is where the harsh bones of the mountain protrude through the soft, grassy slopes. They provide a myriad of interesting shapes and forms for the artist to draw and paint. I've got my sketch that I made, I've got a couple of photographs that I took at the time, and I've got my paper already prepared, and I've drawn it out using a light, weak burnt umber, and I'm ready to go. I'm going to start with the sky. For this I'm using a large flat wash brush, it's 1.5 inches, and I'm bringing the wash down to this line of hills here. I want to keep the rest of the hills back, so I want the wash to go over that. There we go. All right, for this wash I'm going to use Prussian blue and French ultramarine. Get the Prussian blue on the go first. Let's just go for it. Throw it on, see what happens. This is the beauty of a wet in wet wash. You never quite know what it's going to do. A bit more. Coming out from the side. Oh yes, like that. All right, there's some French ultramarine. The two colours, Prussian blue and French ultramarine, just go together so well in a sky like this. I don't want it to be too dark. I'm bringing this down to the level of the crags there. I quite like that patch of light in the sky there, so we'll try and keep that. I think that's going to do, and I just want to tidy up this edge. A couple of places along there, it's a little bit untidy, and then soak up that blob there. There we go, very dramatic. Now I just need to leave that for a few minutes to dry off. Now, because the crags are so dominant and important to the success of the scene, I'm going to mix up some blue-grey and apply it to the rocks to get them established quite early on. For this, I'm going to add some burnt umber to the French ultramarine that I've already got in my pot. I'm going to use my number 16 round brush to apply this colour. I'm going to soften it off in a few places. I'm also going to try and deliberately leave a few random highlights throughout. There we go. So any little blemishes, any little back runs or little areas of dry brush that happen accidentally are generally a good thing. There we go. big rock in the foreground here. few boulders, stones down here. There's actually a bit of a scree slope there. Let's have that come in from the left hand side, I think. Okay, while I'm at it, while I've got that colour in the pot, I'm going to apply a little bit of it, work on this middle ground area here. Let's get a second brush, and I want to graduate this. It's important for the crag there to appear dark against light. Soften that off. And then this background hill, I actually want the whole of it to look quite imposing, so I'm gonna put this, there we go, put this dark tone right over the whole of that area there. That's striding edge up there. And now, just to keep a little bit of mystery to the scene, I'm going to soften that off along its bottom edge. Like so. I'm just going to dab that slightly, just to give the suggestion of maybe some mist down in the bottom of the valley. Very lightly dabbing it. Okay, so I've got my rocks established. Now I need to leave it just to dry for a few minutes, and then I'll start applying some of the grass colour. For my grasses, I'm going to use some cadmium yellow and Prussian blue, and then I'm going to add a tiny little bit of burnt umber. So it's not too bright green. It doesn't want to be too heavy. And now I can apply it. Now I'm going to apply it to the areas of grass. But I'm going to alter it as I go along. I'll just add a little bit more cadmium yellow to that, and then in places I'll add a little bit more Prussian blue to it. So I have to pay attention to the areas that I've put the rocks in. And be sure to paint around them. All right, we've got some grass coming in there. A little bit more cadmium yellow, I think. Patches along the bottom of the rocks, the bottom of the crags there. There are rocks and boulders strewn around here, bit of a scree slope, so I need to leave a few highlights along the way. There we go, slopes right down here. Again, still deliberately leaving a few little random highlights that I can turn into rocks later on. A bit more cadmium yellow, I think. There's actually a little bit of a beck running along the bottom of this, which I'm hoping to include. And then we've got these slopes here. Again, still leaving a few little highlights just along the way there. A few little patches required. So I've established main areas of rock and I've established the main areas of grass. I now need to leave it to dry just for a few minutes.